My name is Caroline Olsen. I am a professional motorcycle racer from Norway. I race MotoAmerica, and I'm a sponsored rider by Motovixens. I don't think it's a challenge per se. I think it's an opportunity to get an outlet, to try new stuff and to learn new skills. Just a safer way to explore the options of braking and lean angle in a safer environment where the worst thing that can happen is that you tip over, but you don't have any ongoing traffic, you don't hit anything like you do on the streets. So definitely when you get to the racetrack, you gotta drop the looking behind you stuff that you might do on the streets. As the rider that comes up behind you, it's his or her responsibility to pass you safely. You should have your sole focus going forward, and I think if you can do that, you come a long way. Riding on the track makes you a better riding in the sense that you will be able to explore the limit and the boundaries of a bike a little bit more than you can on the streets. You can learn how you can test how it feels like to panic brake. You can test how it feels like to having to make a maneuver. You know how the bike handles in different situations when you do get back to the track or to the streets. I mean, I was doing a lot of racing back home in Norway, did a couple of trips over to Europe, and just had a lot of racing back home, but I needed to get to that next level. And I had my coach back home. He knew Jason from way back in the day, and he put me in contact with him. And in 2013, I came over to race the AMA back then, and he offered me a place to stay towards helping him out with the school, and it's kind of just like growing from there. You know, challenges wise, when we come to racing here versus Europe, I think the tracks are a little bit different. But when you think about it, I'm lucky enough to live in California now, where we can race all year round. Before, I had to drive about 30 hours every winter to go to Spain to ride. So I think that right now it's a lot more positives than challenges for sure. And I think it's more like a cultural thing with the people here that has been more of a adjustment than the actual riding itself. The biggest hurdles, I've had a couple. Okay, I had a big accident in 2013 that messed up my shoulder. I've had a couple of big operations after that. Torn rotator cuff, tore all my ligaments and nerves. I was out from racing for a year. And then in 2017, I experienced a brake failure at New Jersey MotoAmerica round, which was probably more of a mental barrier to get over than my previous crash, which was purely pain. But I'm slowly getting back there, so I feel like every little setback has just made me stronger. So now I'm just hoping that that last little bit will come this year. It's hard to answer what my goal with racing is, other than I want to see where my limits, how far I can take myself and where my limits are. But I do love racing, being competitive. I want to make a living doing this. Right now, it's a tough spot to be in because you're barely making it by, and without Carol, I'm not sure I would even be racing this year. But for sure, having all the small girls come up to me during race weekends, wanting my autograph, saying that they want to race motorcycles like I do, is one of the coolest feelings ever. So if I can inspire anyone with what I am doing and my story, overcoming adversity, that's a huge goal and a big accomplishment that I look at and I can be proud of. To be fair, there's a lot of freaking badass girls out there right now. We have Lucy Glockner from Germany. She's amazing. Finished second at Pikes Peak this year. She's over in World Endurance, kicking ass. We have Maria Herrera racing World Super Sport. We have Anna Carrasco on the little bikes. They're racing the World Super Sport 300. Like, there's a lot of fast girls out there. And I think that the acceptance of racing with a girl has gotten better over even just like the last few years. But it has definitely the ups or the pros and cons of being a girl. Obviously, being a girl, you get a little bit more media attention, but that is not necessarily always a good thing. I want to be acknowledged for the results I get. When I get on the team, I want to have as good of a bike as anyone else on my team, but sometimes people want to take advantage of the fact that you're a girl, which is a bad thing, but also a good thing. My name is Caroline Olsen. I am an instructor for JP43 training. I'm also a Motovixens sponsored rider in MotoAmerica Supersport 600, and I'm excited to see you on track someday.